go. Thank you, Judy. Um, okay, so definitely appreciate you guys jumping on. I know super late notice, um, and I apologize for that. But as you guys know, we're talking mainly final expense here, and you guys know, like, when one thing with me I feel is super important is leads. And anytime there's an opportunity to partner with somebody or get access to very high quality leads, I'm always interested. Okay. So we've been using a lot of the Facebook leads, which have been very good. We're going to continue to use those if you are having success with them. The one thing I never want to do, if you're doing well, I don't want to reinvent your wheel. Okay. So we definitely just want to give you opportunity, give you access to what we feel is very high quality. So um, most of you I have met, some of you I have not, but obviously my name is Todd Turnwald, and myself along with Julie Schimler, we run United Senior Professional Agency, and we've got a lot of excellent folks on the call. Um, Julie will probably, if she's able, um, help me if there's anybody that has questions, because I usually use my phone, so I can only see a few people at a time. But I'm super excited. We have a lot of new people on the call, a lot of people that have been with us for a while. So this is going to be really good stuff. Yesterday, it was kind of late in the afternoon. As soon as I had this call, I got to you guys right away. Um, but I had a conversation with a gentleman by the name of Gabe Brooks, who is on this call. And for those guys that have been with us for a while, we had Gabe on. It's been several months now. Just a quick little background there. Gabe, I've known for probably 4 or 5 years now, and in the final expense industry. We were also at Lincoln Heritage together. We transferred out and went independent together. Gabe, no matter where he's been, typically is going to write anywhere from 30 to 40,000 of production almost every month. And you guys, the numbers are on the board if you guys get the weekly emails. The one thing that I always admired about Gabe is fantastic on the phones. And I'll let Gabe get a little bit deeper into this on how long he's been doing this. But one thing that I've loved is he's been generating his own leads for quite some time. And the conversations that I've had in the past, like, gosh, I wish somehow we could make this work. Because when someone's doing well, you never want to try to jump in and take something from someone, and when I heard that Gabe was interested in generating some leads, and we had a call immediately. And once we had that call, I thought it was paramount to get that out to you guys right away. But the one thing to know about Gabe is I know for sure he's in the top 10 in the country in final expense production. I believe his brother is as well. So he's writing nearly $400,000 of production so far this year, and his brother is really close to that. So here's my thing. If this is your first time on the call, leads are the lifeblood in final expense, and I am very big on not just using any leads out there, okay? Because there's a lot of bad lead sources out there. Okay. So when I come across someone that's actually working the leads, actually doing it themselves, having a high level of success, and we're able to pass that on to you guys, we're going to do it. Just like our leads with Wayland, I worked those for quite some time. I worked them for about 2 months before we opened it up to you guys, because we have to make sure that you guys have high quality leads. And if you're in the final expense business, which most everyone on this call is, that you have to get leads every week. I mean, that's just how it is. Okay. No one has been able to work their warm market for any consistent period of time in this industry. Okay. So without further ado, what I'm going to do, Gabe, if you could unmute yourself. Definitely appreciate you jumping on this call. One thing that Gabe's going to be going over is how I want to run this, guys, is a little Q&A with Gabe. That way we stay really on point here. And the other cool thing that Gabe's willing to do with us is for the people that are working these leads, he's also going to provide ongoing training for you guys, okay, and in a setup just like this. So everyone will have access to that if you're using his leads. I don't feel it's respectful if you're using someone else's leads to jump on his training calls for his leads. So if that's just added value that you're going to get. So Gabe, welcome. Definitely was very excited about our call last night. So tell us real quick, how long have you been running these leads that we're discussing right now?
For probably like a year and a half, I would say. I've probably been doing telesales for almost 2 years. So
yep,
I started, buying game time leads, just, looking for different vendors and stuff like that. Not a lot, to be honest with you. There's a lot of people that do statewide leads, which is nice, but sometimes it's difficult to get a chunk of leads from one specific area. So like, our whole thing is just, I've started, doing telesales in Ohio specifically, and then just started to branch out more and more states. But I've been doing it for a while. That's kind of been the process. Started with game time. Other vendors didn't really see the margins, the profits that I would like. So I just started like testing, different sources of leads. I've gotten all different types of leads, Facebook data leads, Google, YouTube, there's all different sources. So we're basically trying to find, the best sources possible for people that are interested in telesales. Telesales
Yep.
is something that's obviously it's not like door to door. So it's a different kind of animal, if you will, different structure. So that's kind of where it started. And, ever since I've been generating our own leads, our team has been doing really well. And things have been good.
So let's talk about that real quick. How many guys do you have on your team?
1, 2, 3, about 7 people that are, I would say, that are doing telesales. I mean, my team's fairly small. I don't have a large team, but everybody is doing telesales, and we've been doing it, generating their own leads, and everybody's been super, productive. So with 7
team,
people,
Gabe, how much production are you doing a month with your 7 guys for the telesales?
Man, I would say probably about 150,000. I would say, there's times I've just been really busy lately, but me and my brother have written about 300 each off these leads.
300. Okay.
So
and
we got about over $1 million in production this year on our team
with 7 guys.
And probably realistically, we got
really
2 guys. Yeah, that's like, realistically, it's probably more like 5.
Okay.
5 or 6. We have a couple people that stay out in the field. Mark's out in the field. So
absolutely. Yep.
But
so one thing so I know you're in the top 10 in the country, roughly 300 of production. And you made mention yesterday, you haven't really sold much in the last month and a half. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say, to be honest with you, it's probably been like 2 months. I took a little bit of time off. I have not worked that, the past, I would say 2 months, 2.5 months, maybe.
Okay. That's a lot of production. Okay. So talk to us a little bit about what you're seeing the differences with your leads and the other leads that you've used in the past.
So that was the main thing for me is like, I've sold door to door. Telesales is not like, you don't have this ridiculously high conversion because it's so much easier for somebody, to hang up on you. But I would say I've had to kind of, let's see how I put this. It's been a process, you know. Touch up on the question you had again for me.
Well, what's the difference with your leads to other people? Because I know
I got
like
you.
on
Yeah,
Wayland's
yeah.
Facebook leads, that it's more of the long form lead. So there's more questions that those people have to answer, and
Right.
the more engagement that client gets
Exactly.
before that generates a lead, typically the higher the quality. So are you seeing
Right.
kind of the same thing?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Our leads, we have like 11 data points, so we do collect a lot of information. Um, the the ones that I worked at Game Time, you know, I'm not sure specifically, but I knew they were generating Facebook, and I think it was shorter form. So
Yeah.
like I wasn't seeing my margins as good as they are now, you know. So we asked for a lot of data points. It's a high engaging ad. Our structure, our marketing structure, we have on an average, I would say a higher conversion for sure per lead. But we also have a higher AP, you know, and I
Okay.
talked to you about that briefly. A lot of people are, we're sticking to marketing to people that are a lot older, you know.
Yep.
So if you're talking to people over 65 specifically, more so than somebody that's 50, you know, some people, you know, I know a lot of people are doing leads right now. You might get people in their 50s are still working and it's hard to get a hold of them. It can kind of change the flow of, you know, oh, call me after 6, call me after 5, you know.
Yep.
So we've really tried to focus on, you know, like a finite time period where, you know, it's best to call early in the morning, later. You know, I really
Yep.
don't do a lot of calling. You know, I probably call from 10 to 3. You know, that's another thing too is um I think if you do it right, you can manage your time so much better if you have a better source of leads. You know, leads are like the backbone of what we do.
Exactly.
So better quality, higher content, higher engaging client, you know, with this lead. And like I said,
Mm-hmm.
we're asking a lot of data points, uh, and the leads are also customized too. So
Yep.
you're going to be getting, as an agent, you're going to be getting inbound calls. So that's just one of the features that come with the leads, which is another, you know, great
Yep.
great piece.
Inbound. Okay. So just so we clarify on this doesn't mean that every lead is going to be calling you. Okay.
Yeah, I would
This means that
exactly.
occasionally they're going to be calling, because what I don't want you guys to think is like, oh, everybody's going to be calling me, and we're just going to sign up a policy right then and there. It don't work quite that easy, but you will have people. And that's the one thing that I liked when we talked with Gabe yesterday, that occasionally you have people calling in that they just want it, right? They just need coverage, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty strong. Okay. So that's pretty good. Um, the 11 points of survey questions, whatever the case may be. And
Right.
guys, I don't want to come across like I know a whole lot about Facebook leads, but I've been learning more and more. And typically what we've been running is the long form of 5 to 6 data points. So when you start getting into 10, 11, that's pretty good. That's
Yeah, it
real
is
good.
good. It is good. We're basically, you know, you have obviously their name. I can give you like the data points when it comes in, so they're real time. You know, they're only yours, just like, you know,
Mhm.
what probably a lot of people have experienced. You know, you have the date of birth, the phone number, the email. You have the full address too.
Okay.
So, and a hobby on there. So city, state, zip code. So there's a lot of, I've seen a lot of leads that don't include address or different data points. Um, a lot of these telesale leads that I've been looking at only have like 4, you
Mhm.
know, so it might flow off of Facebook, but, you know, that's just, you know, an engagement piece, you know, like for me, I would rather have somebody show their commitment. Another, you know, really thing we do too is we let the client know who's going to be contacting them. So who you are.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and we also, yeah, it's great, you know, so they know who to expect a call from. You know, so if it says, you know, Gabriel Brooks is going to be in contact with you, and then on the caller ID, Gabriel Brooks is calling you. I mean, I'm just saying, like when you set up yourself to be transparent with somebody, I
Yeah.
feel like it can only be beneficial. You know, it's not free. We don't use the words free at all, or, you know, social
It's a big one.
security, you know, certain things, key phrases, and final expense marketing can be different. So, you know, we just try to stay focused as possible with what really matters. And the
Yeah.
other piece to this is you have to remember it's a phone call. It's not like you're going to somebody's house.
Mhm.
But, you know, with these leads you could, it's just that we're not really marketing to people that are door-to-door salespeople. We're really focusing on people that are want to do telesales and um, you know, have a certain specific amount of different credentials that come with that.
Yep, yep. And to pause there for a second, here's another thing. Like, if you are a door-to-door person, Julie and I are not telling you right now to go switch over to go to telesales. All right. So whatever you feel is good for you, continue to do that. Okay. Um, but if you're doing telesales, this is really important. Now, as he said, you could take these leads and definitely do door to door, which is fantastic. Okay. But what I don't want you to think is, if, hey, I'm going door to door, now they're telling us to go uh, telesales. We're definitely not doing that. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're being good there. The big piece, and somebody just put that in the chat. What I like about with Gabe's situation here, and just like our previous Facebook leads that we're using, we'll continue to use those if you guys are doing well with those. There's no bait and switch. There's no, everything is right to the point. He's not trying to trick people to turn them into a lead. That's what a lot of, and I'm sounding negative here, but a lot of lead generation companies, their job is to provide as many leads as they possibly can. So they're going to put whatever they want on that content to generate a lead. And that's not what Gabe does. So that's fantastic. And I like that. You know, he mentioned, now Gabe is very consistent when he is working, that he's working from 10 to 3 or 10 to, you know, if he's working 10 to 3 every day, but he's consistent during the day making those calls. That's a big thing. Now, Gabe, here's what we've kind of run into, and I'll let you explain how the agent gets your leads. But so far with Facebook, what we've been doing is you put in an ad spend of say $50 or $100 a day. However, you don't know how many leads you're going to be getting. How is
Yeah.
yours different?
We just have so many, we've tested so many different setups and structures that, you know, we're getting, I mean, it just depends on who's ordering what, you know, but for me, I'm getting, you know, 40, 60 leads a day, and I'm not even really, you know, marketing ultra aggressively. Now I'm spending a lot more money. That's the other facet with, not a lot more money, but you have to be kind of prepared to spend money with this, you know, but once you see the results, it will make sense. But we're basically, I'm marketing on days that I need leads, you know, and the flow changes from, you know, just have so many things and other things going on right now, you know, but,
So
you know,
with
we
an agent,
basically,
if they say, now you have it set up from what I saw, if you want 60 leads, you're going to get 60 leads for X
yeah.
amount of dollars.
And
So there is,
realistically, yeah,
so
sometimes
you
there's,
know what you're going to get.
yeah. And of course, and there's, you know, there's different, we have, it's really simple on the website. So I don't know if you have dropped the website or not to anybody,
We
or
have
can you, yeah. So if you,
it was put in the email. Yep.
yeah, so it's a super simple structure. You get rewarded for the more amount of leads that you get. So the price per lead goes down depending on what order you want. But you're guaranteed that amount of leads. There might even be more sometimes that will trickle in, because the other great thing about our marketing is it's set up to allow different people to share it with other people. So there might be just organic generated leads. So you might get a couple more leads come into your, you know, your spreadsheet, you know. So you basically order those, you get those. Typically our orders are going to be filled within 48 hours. A lot of times probably sooner than that, a day, you know, like it depends on how fast, but you're going to get a lot of leads, you know, over a 2 to 3 day period, fast.
Okay. So you can typically figure 3 days to get your leads in, or sooner.
Yeah, or sooner. Yeah, that's the safer thing to say. But we've had already orders be filled in less than a day, 24
Okay.
hours, 60 lead, or getting 60 leads at a time. So
do they come on a spreadsheet, or how do they
yep.
come?
Yeah, so the individual, once they would purchase it on the website, we set up everything from so we're basically a telesales marketing service with some training, involved, which I don't know of anybody doing that with the type of credentials with us. I mean, the numbers that we've putting up off these leads. So it's not like something that we haven't tried. It's a really unique type of business venture for us, but it's been extremely successful. I think it could be successful for other people. So they're going to get those leads.
What's that?
Oops. Yeah, somebody.
You're going to get those leads. Yeah, you're going to go get those leads on the spreadsheet that will come in real time to the spreadsheet. And you will just call from there. We're creating, we already have a couple of generic, situations or a script, if you will, to help with people. And we're willing to, try to do what we can, to help people be successful with just telesales, because I do think it will be like the thing in insurance, eventually. People, it's going to be so much easier the way the market is. A lot of carriers are now opening up, the structure for people to sell from home, with the pandemic and stuff like that. I probably realistically, I mean, I just haven't really had the opportunity with so many things going on, but we know that the leads work. It's not just, we're not just somebody that hasn't tested it and hasn't seen the production with it and the profitability with it. But like you were saying, right, Todd, it's not for everybody. There's still rejection, just like anything else. And sometimes it's easier to, for people to dispose of you, if you will.
Sure. Nope. I get it for sure. Yeah. And that's the big, my biggest deal with when we're talking leads is making sure that they're quality. Like, I will only bring that to the table or to our agency if they are proven. It's been tested. That's why I was very excited, because I know what Gabe does. I know what his team does, and I know that they're super efficient. And that's the key to me, is for you guys to be efficient, be profitable. If you get good in this business, you shouldn't have to work 9 to 9, right? I want you, our goal is for you guys, I don't want to say to put in the least amount of time possible, definitely not that, but be very efficient, where you're talking to high quality leads, and having good opportunities without working all day. So the better you get, and the more consistent you stay, is super important. The better the lead, the less time you got to put in. Now, the other thing that I felt was pretty strong is these leads. Gabe, what for those that haven't been on the website, what are the cost on your leads?
So they can get a 20 lead pack for $280, which that breaks down to $40 a lead or $14 a lead. If they do, that's the starter pack. If you do the pro pack, which is 60 leads, it's $13 a lead, which is $780. And if you were to get 100 leads, it will be $12 a lead. That's what we call our expert pack, which is 100 leads for $1,200, $12 a lead. Which I don't know if anybody has kind of looked at buying leads or already sources leads. Really, some of the best prices, period. So
those prices are very good, especially for the number of data points that you're hitting. So that's pretty strong. So again, I'm advocating for this because I know it's done these guys a lot of good. I know Gabe has worked these in, and the cool thing about Gabe is, and the guys that are with him, they're super, super knowledgeable, and they are constantly trying to perfect things. Like when they do things, like they max out and just do it perfectly, you know, and until they just completely have it dialed in. So let's pause here real quick. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. Omar, Gabe, do you have Spanish speaking leads or Spanish leads?
No, we don't.
Okay.
That's something that we might try to venture into, but no, we do not have Spanish speaking leads.
Okay. Omar, I have those available, so you'll be fine there. And if Gabe does at some point get those, he'll let us know right away. That's great. That's actually a question I was going to ask. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
What else we got? You can use both. Good.
Hey, Gabe, how good is your lead spread across multiple states? Like, say if you're working 5 to 8 states at a time, what would you say would be the ratio between each state? Is it like 20, 20, 20, 20, 20? Or...
Oh, you're talking about this the what state? How many leads come in each state, basically?
Pretty much, yeah. Like if I work Ohio, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, will I see? Is it just going to be random? Basically, how much comes in?
Yeah. It's going to be those states. You know, a lot of times, what's cool about the algorithm, it's going to find somebody in that area that's the most engaging. So it depends. You know, some states, that's why we really like for us, sometimes just marketing in Ohio is super difficult, you know. So that's why we piggyback on other states, you know, but it just depends on, you know, how many states you're getting. But yeah, you're going to get, it won't be like a round robin perfect number. There's probably going to be a state or two. There's going to be obviously a winning state for the marketing, right? So there's going to be a winner and then people that not are producing. So our job is really to try to source the person, like the best person real time that wants something, you know, if that makes sense. So, you know, certain states are going to be more, I guess, open. You know, Ohio is one of those states. There's a lot of people marketing on Facebook in Ohio or Texas for that matter, but those are good states. So the market's more saturated there, you know, so it can kind of change the dynamics of what type of lead comes in from which state, you know.
And
Facebook is good at doing that.
A great point here that I failed to bring up. You are going to, it's required that you have at least 4 states in order to get the leads.
Yes, it is. You have to have 4 at least. Correct.
Yep. So, and that's just, if you're new to this, that is just getting going NIPR, get a non-resident license. You don't take any additional testing. You just have to get the licenses and you're good to go. I would suggest, honestly, 5 to 10. And I think that's where some of the folks have if they didn't get a lot of leads through the other Facebook channel, it was because you only put 1 state down. So if you only, like, they won't run these leads. If you only put 1 down, they won't submit the order. So you have to have a minimum of 4 states. I know the question is going to be, well, which states are the best? And then we'll have all of our agents go to those states. I don't know that. I mean, I think they vary state by
we
state.
have a lot of data. We have a lot of data on that too. You know, I mean,
okay,
but it just varies on where the individual is. You know, like it depends on what somebody wants. Like if you want to, because the time zones are different. You have states in different time zones. You can call later. You know, you have more time. So that's another great thing about telesales. You could really work around the clock and work late. You know, you could have leads in California, you know, and be on the East Coast. Be calling you call until 10 o'clock at night, your time, you know, so it just depends on what type of, that's one really important thing, you know, certain states, you know, really what I would say is to look at different states. You know, you want to probably avoid Jersey and stuff like that. There's states that are more expensive to obtain. Then you can get states that are 30, 40, 20, 50, 60, $70. You know, we have a license in basically every state, you know, so that's kind of where we're headed. But, you know, working since I'm in Ohio, you know, I really haven't, I don't focus on the West Coast, but, you know, I do still get leads from the West Coast.
Yep. I will say the two hardest states to get, in my opinion, are Florida and Georgia. Those are difficult state. You got to jump through a lot of hoops. Yep.
Right.
You got to jump through a lot of hoops to get those states.
Yep.
So I would, I mean, unless you want to do that, you can. I would kind of maybe steer away, you know, go to the easier ones first.
Yeah, I think that's the best approach. I think that's the best approach too.
Yep, that's just a recommendation. So again, you have to have at least 4 states. So if you're saying you only have 1 right now, you're going to have to get at least 3 more to use these leads. So somebody just said, I've got 14 states. Gabe, would it be wise then to just put all 14 down?
Yeah, if I was them, I would for sure. Because really, it seems like a lot of you guys are having the problem with just getting leads.
Yeah.
You know, like the more states you have, it's going to allow us to generate a faster real-time client, you know?
Yeah. What kind of conversion, so just before Gabe even answers, what are you seeing for conversion rate, Gabe, with your team?
Oh, for me, I would say probably 10-15% at the most. I would say is a good number.
Yep.
You know, but you know, with our, like I said, the great thing of why I really love the leads is we found a way to source a bigger premium, you know, in my opinion. So it kind of helps compensate for that. But telesales, you know, 10-15% is really good. You know, 1 out of 10 is really good. So
I felt like from what we've experienced, even 8% is pretty solid. Right. 8 and above is good. Good questions there. And what other questions do we have, guys? Julie's noting Fast and Furious. Do you have any questions by chance, or?
I'm just trying to think what questions we're going to get as soon as the call is over. One of them, Gabe. Hey, how are you? First of all, thanks for getting on here.
Sure.
Could you just go over real quick the 11 points of engagement that the client has to go through real quick? And another question, I was thinking we might get asked. I know they come on a spreadsheet. The leads that come on a spreadsheet. Is there an additional cost to like the CRM, you know, anything that you use besides the leads? Are there any other additional costs beside the lead order that the agents will put in?
Right. Yeah. So so we take care of all of that. You know, all that integration is something that we handle in-house, so they don't have to really worry about that at all. So no additional cost for the CRM. The data points, you know, there's different ways that individuals could, you know, use the data. You know, Todd, I don't know if anybody high level.
Yep, so we've got some people using that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, with the data points, we have the first name, the last name. Those are 2 separate data points because that allows you to integrate in the high level more efficiently. You don't have to, if you're sending automated messages and texts and stuff like that, it makes that simpler. And high level of people that don't know is just something that people can use to automate their leads that can send out texts in different situations like that. So first name, last name, the date of integration, like when the lead comes in, the date of birth, the phone number, the email, the address, the city, state, and zip code, and a favorite hobby as well. So those are data points that we collect. We also have which is really unique too, we have a disclaimer on our ads too, to let somebody know that this is, you know, a solicitation for insurance, you know, that somebody will be contacting them about insurance. So that's another kind of layer of protection that we use as well. So people aren't like just, oh, I thought this was free, you know, so we're trying to really mitigate all of that as much as possible.
That's strong. That's good.
And was there another question too?
No,
Julia?
I think you answered both of them. Thank you very much.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Yep, those are good. Those are good.
Hey, Todd.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just gonna say, like, you know me, like, you know where like Gabe stands and where I generally stand. I'm generally a little bit down the line here, but one thing I was gonna say, one thing I was gonna say is he taught me how to do this in February or in like January of this year, before all the craziness happened, and it took me probably 3 months to try to figure it out, right? Because I was used to, you know, working in the field and everything. But I just went through my spreadsheet because Nathan was asking about, well, how much do you close and this and that. I am not you know, I'm decent, but I'm not great, right? So I'm just trying to give like the average agent, you know, somebody. There's a whole bunch of people that are better than me, but I went through all my leads. I got, so far since January, I got 1,585 leads. Wow. I've written 104 policies. That's 6%. If you look on IFG though, where I was on like the top 26 for IFG or whatever, wherever I'm at now. I've been doing Medicare, so I've been dropping, you know, farther and farther. But what I'm saying is that even, you know, an average agent is still going to make a whole bunch of money on these leads because I truly believe in them. That's all that I work. That's all that I work. I don't work anything else.
Well, and that's a great point. So a lot of times people will get wrapped up into conversion. I don't want to sound like rude or, you know, whatever. End of the day, it's profitability. Yeah. What are you depositing? That's all that matters. I mean, in my opinion, what are you profiting? And you know, you could sell a whole bunch of leads and they're super small policies and, you know, just not making a whole lot. I do like the fact of when Gabe mentioned yesterday that they run from 60 to 85. So they're having a lot more conversations with people in their early 70s. The premiums are going to be higher. So, I mean, you can pretty much figure on if you close one deal, it's in most situations, it's pretty much going to take care of your cost for the week or for that batch of leads. So no, that's strong, Johnny. That's good information there for sure.
Yeah, he keeps a lot of his information really, like, I don't have that data, you know, he's really good at keeping that information.
I can imagine. Yeah. No,
but
that's good.
I mean, it's just, go ahead.
No, I'm just, for those of you guys, I mean, I've known Johnny as well a long time. And the thing about these guys, and again, why I was so adamant, like, we got to get this call out immediately, is because they're straight shooters. I mean, they are going to give you facts. They're not going to try to pull one over on you. Just good, solid people that want to help. You guys that are on Medicare, see how much Johnny's helping everybody every day, just because that's the kind of person that he is, you know. And like Gabe adding, like, hey, I'll do ongoing training with these people to make sure that they're doing well. Those are the kind of people that you want to associate with in this industry for sure. So we're very lucky to have both you guys. Johnny, was there anything else that you wanted to add on about this?
Nothing. No.
Okay.
I don't think
That's
so.
awesome.
I probably lost it, but you look great.
Thank you. No, I'm super excited to again be with these guys. Getting the access that they're giving us now is really strong.
Did somebody post a comment in the?
I'm not sure. I haven't checked that in a minute.
Let me see. I thought I saw something.
I do have a question while you're checking that out. You just mentioned the ongoing training. Gabe, do you have certain days that you do the training so you're not getting calls an hour apart or every other day from people that you can do a group training?
Yeah, I mean, it's so fairly new, you know, but I would like to probably set up a day, you know, that works better for everybody. You know, I wouldn't be opposed to helping people that are going to get more involved, either. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to somebody reaching out, but I
Julie,
really
what we'll
want to be
probably
able
do
to,
is we'll set up a day with him, what days we have calls already, and then what day fits his schedule as well. Because the one thing that we don't want to do, like, we want to be accessible, guys. People want to help, but here's the calls that we don't. I wouldn't advise calling. Hey, my person won't pick up. What do I do? Like, let's be smart about this. So we will pick a day, and that's a great question, by the way. We will pick a day and we'll post that out there. Hey, on this day, Gabe will do calls from this time to this time. If you're using his leads, you have access to those calls, and we'll kind of go that way, and then try to save your questions for that particular time would be ideal. So what he's right, Julie. This is kind of new, so we haven't got all the specifics on that. It's just that this was something that we are going to do, the ongoing training, which I think is could be very beneficial to a lot of folks.
Okay.
I think someone did ask about the script, if there's a script, but he did say he has a couple different scripts that answer someone's question. I think I seen that on.
Yeah, we have like just a simple introductory script, that really will help people up front in the call, because that's really the most important. They say you have just like a couple seconds, so to reel somebody in or get their engaged in the phone call. So, but we also, like I said, we're going to be trying to help people as much as we can down the road too, with just different things, different ways to speak to people, how to speak to somebody in a certain facet.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we do have a little script that we'll send out to people that end up purchasing the leads.
Yeah. And Gabe actually brought up some pretty good things yesterday, just little tips that his people use that I think would be very beneficial. So you'll definitely gain a lot of knowledge on this, get very high quality leads, which is huge. Gabe, I would imagine they can order these leads at any time, correct?
Yeah, it's going to be going
days.
No, it can be any time. We're just going live with it next week, like on Wednesday.
Okay. That's
so
excellent. Yep, makes sense after the election, so that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
What other questions do we have here, gang? And I'm trying to get into this chat too, so if anybody else sees anything on the chat, I want to make sure that all questions.
Yeah, well, I want to say something. I've already said this several times. What we have really works. We're not just like a lead generation company. We're like a marketing organization that's really different. We're going to help provide some services along with that to kind of help usher in this wave of people that, in my opinion, telesales is going to be, we've just seen it develop with underwriting over the past 2 years, how things have become more simplified, is following more of the pattern of Medicare supplement. So if you're able to, do telesales and you're successful at it, it can really change a lot of things for you. Like we touched on time management, how important that was, but you can make so many calls so quick. The other day, I had a really good day the other day. I mean, I probably worked till 1:30, 2 o'clock, probably 4 hours, and wrote like almost 6,000 in AP in just a couple hours. So, I mean, I'm seasoned at doing this, so it's different. I've been doing this for a while, so it's not just some quick get rich setup scenario. This is harder, in my opinion. There's different challenges, the same challenges, but they're a little bit stronger to some extent with certain things, so it's not something that is, cookie cutter easy. So I just want to kind of let people know that, but we're trying to, do something here to obviously help people that are interested. It does take a lot of diligence, you know, but if you've made it this far and you're in insurance and you've been successful even somewhat remotely doing it, or even at the door, you know, it's possible.
Well, I feel like, and then we'll just touch on one more thing, but I feel like the people, when you get into insurance, you want to control your time, you want to control your money. And when you can do both, that's a big deal. All right. So if the higher quality lead that you work, the less time you have to put in, which is what I like. I like that. I like that for you guys. And I want to see people doing well, because I know you guys want that. So keep that in mind. You know, we wouldn't just let anybody on this call talking about leads. I can promise you that. For those that have been around, like we don't do this a lot. So when I know the quality is there, that's really, really important to me. So does anybody else have any questions? And again, if you're new, please ask. There's no silly questions with this group. You can literally ask whatever you want. As long as it doesn't have to do anything with politics, we're good.
Hey, Gabe, do you find that people really do answer their phones, or you get a lot of voicemails?
Yeah, that's a nice question. It's a lot of people don't pick up the phone, you know, and if your conversion ratio is 10%, I mean, that should show, you know. But with this, I do believe though, like when you look at, I've just had different experiences with multiple vendors doing this, and with our lead, I feel like I'm having more conversations. You know, you might be able to, you know, like with the training we provide and stuff like that, there's certain key points that you want to hit on first. But yeah, a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of voicemails. You know, one of the things that we do though to protect that is, like, once somebody's more comfortable with understanding the process, when you buy leads, when you have 100, 200, 250 leads that you can just call continually, you might have a lead that, you know, I had an agent of mine yesterday, wrote a lead from, like, I think August or September, you know, just in his spreadsheet. So you kind of protect yourself there. Yeah, there's not a lot of people who are going to pick up, but the system is there to kind of help protect you as much as possible from that, because that's just another variable to somebody's success, is how many people they can get on the phone. You know, obviously it's not like door to door. You know, you knock on somebody's door, like, you know, you're there, they can see you, you know, so it's just a little bit more challenging over the phone. But yeah, there's people that aren't going to pick up the phone. I think that just comes with the territory. Just like if somebody was a seasoned agent, when people telling you, can you come back? I got an appointment to go, you know, or whatever excuse, you know. So same type of animal or same type of scenario, just, you know, that's the let's just put it like this, the conversion obviously is lower. So yeah, you know, when you go to somebody's house, you can convert a lot higher. Same thing, it's just you don't have that direct engagement to the individual in their face. So that's, you know, it's you know, I think that's just how it's, you know, it's going to be, you know. But we try to kind of mitigate that with different things, the amount of the quality of leads, right, with the data points, the age too. So we're targeting a different type of demographic that kind of protects you. Like, yeah, you might, with telesales, you know, if you can ensure that you can get, you know, instead of somebody in their 50s that you might only get $25 from, you know, somebody in their 60s or 70s that's going to be 50 to 100, you know. So that's another kind of piece to what we're doing here. But yeah, no, that's right, man. There's not going to be an overwhelming response, but, you know, you're going to have a good amount of conversations, more than the average type of lead, from what I've experienced with these leads, for sure. Because, you know, the other awesome thing about these is you're going to get some inbound calls, you know. So that's the really important thing. I would always tell the individual too, you know, make sure that I get a lot of fake calls and spam calls, but if I have a campaign running, I'm still picking up every call. You know, you want to, if somebody's calling you, you want to take advantage of that. you know, and there's no way for us to really, we have your phone number on there so they can call you. So, but there's, you know, you have to kind of be accessible, if you will.
Yep. And just so everybody knows, these leads are geared towards final expense.
Right.
That was one of the questions. These are geared towards final expense products. As far as which carrier, if you're new, we'll go over that in training, how to distinguish the carriers. That's a good question. Here's my suggestion, because I know here's what we can potentially get a lot of people just getting 20 leads. Like, oh, I'm just going to try it with 20 leads. If you guys want my opinion, I'm totally fine with them having 20 leads on there. I think getting 20 leads is only after you have a very large inventory. So if you think that you're going to just get 20 leads and get sales, not in telesales, that's probably not going to happen. Now, if you're doing the direct mails that are $40 a piece and getting 20, that's different. But if you're going to step in and hey, I want to go this route, I wouldn't do it until you could get at least 60 leads, because that's going to be 60 and above. That's my opinion. I don't think you're going to get a good test in just 20. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
I think somebody had a question. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say what you said. I did it for a very short amount of time, but you're going to burn through 20 leads in literally an hour or two if people don't answer, and then you're going to be sitting on your hands. So you're going to want to have, I would, if I was going to go into this full force, I would do 100 personally.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep, I agree with that.
About that. I would be at 100 all day long, because you get through those very fast.
Well, not only that though, too, is we're trying to, that's what really the type of agent we're trying to obtain and help, is because with this, you know, that's why those leads for people that are really diving into this, they're getting rewarded by getting a cheaper lead, you know, because we understand it's just numbers. It's really numbers. You don't have enough data. You got 20 leads, you know, I mean, and you go through those, you're going to feel kind of discouraged, if you will. So we're really trying to, you know, in a way, really work with people, individuals that are thinking like that, because, you know, if you know anything about even direct mail, you know, you still want to spend a good amount in direct mail, you know, but it's, you just want to have, you want to just have a good amount. So you can at least say like, okay, this can work, or, oh, no way, this can't work, you know. I used to do, when we used game time, you know, I would buy, I think it was, I forget how many they would do, how much it was, at least like 50 to 100, always I would be getting those.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a great point. So here's what I'll do. And Gabe, can they order now and just not process until next Wednesday, or no?
Well, they're going to be charged for it, you know, so I would just probably, you know, tell people to hold off until that.
Okay,
but if they want to, you could put the order in, and then we could get everything structured, you know, for that individual. But I would say just to hold off on that, and, you know, I'll be more than happy that we can talk about it next week or a specific day. Like I said, after election would be a good point for us.
Okay. Because here's what I'm going to do when we say go, when this is allowed. So we'll say it'll be probably Wednesday is your first day that you can order these, right, Gabe?
Yeah.
That works best. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for everybody, not Johnny Woo though. I'm just kidding. Not kidding. So anybody that orders these, if you get the 60 or above, I'll send you $100. First 5 people that order. So the first 5 people that get them get $100 off that order. So that will take that down starting on Wednesday. Okay, so I'll just go right to Gabe. Gabe, who's the first 5 people that ordered, I'll Venmo you. So you'll need Venmo. $100 to every person that gets them.
Well, I'm moving to Todd's team then.
There you go. So we will have that for you Wednesday. So I would say for at least next week, a good follow-up call will be on Wednesday. Okay.
Sure.
And then we'll have a set day. We'll have a set day by then as well. But the first 5 people that order, I'll send you $100 to whomever it is. So I want to see you guys. That's showing you, telling you, I believe in these, right? I know you're going to make money in these. Okay. Trust us that you're going to need at least 60 or more of these, to really do well. Now, as time goes, you just, hey, I want to, I got through my leads. I want to, just get 20 more to finish out the week. Great. Do it all day long. To just start and say, hey, I want to give Gabe a shot. I'll get 20. Like, please, like, this is recorded. So don't waste your time just getting 20 on these. Okay. This is recorded. So I'll just go back and say, hey, on the recording, I did say this. Okay. So I don't want anybody to say, hey, I tried it. I got 20, it didn't work. Okay. I'm going to say, yeah, I already knew that answer. Okay. So, or you may get lucky, you may, but again, you guys know what I mean. To kind of wrap this up, again, we've got a lot of new agents coming in. I think just this week we've had, I think, 14. Laura's been working pretty much around the clock. Okay, so we've got a lot of new folks coming in. Two things here real quick. So Julie actually brought this to my attention earlier this week, which was a very good point. What we're going to end up doing is having like a directory of people that you can reach out to about whether it's final expense. Obviously, we know final expense well. You'll have somebody there. You'll have somebody for mortgage protection that you can call and say, hey, I need a little advice here. Medicare, we got 2 rock stars on here right now with Elizabeth and Johnny, and IULs. So kind of have a directory, because we're getting a lot of people, and some people are going to get into different things. And
Right.
we want to make sure that we're providing as much support to you folks as we possibly can. So that will be coming out. Okay. I promise there won't be like a bunch of training calls on that. They're just going to be resources for you that you can call if you need it. Okay. So that's very important. And again, with Gabe, I was sold just on the leads, but when he said, hey, I want to do ongoing support with these guys, ongoing training, if you've got new agents coming in, or if you have somebody that, wants to get to a higher level like these guys, to have access that somebody's going to help you on training like that, that's huge. Okay. That is huge. So I feel like we're doing a lot of good things. The other thing is, it really, now that I've got so many on this call, it really, really, really helps. On Mondays, we have onboarding. So if you're a newer onboarding and goal setting, so if you're a newer agent, or you're struggling a little bit with goal setting, Mondays are a great call with that. Okay, it just helps. By the end of the week, we're gonna have over 150 agents. Okay, so it helps everybody be able to get their questions and answers, be efficient. Okay, which is very, very important. Tuesdays, the role playing. So if you're really serious about this, Nicole does a really good job of role playing. Get on there. Okay, don't be afraid of that. Live dials. You can jump on her live dials. Okay, there's going to be another day of some training with Gabe. Okay, so if you really want to be good in this industry, I don't know that we can give much more. We're giving you great lead sources, plenty of training opportunities with literally some of the top dogs in the country. These guys are it by numbers, not just by me saying that. Okay. So that being said, Gabe, Johnny, thank you very, very much for jumping on the call. Definitely appreciate you guys. And Wednesday we'll have another call regarding these leads, and you will be able to place your order then. Okay. If you want the $100, I would be ready to go. So you are in the top 5, and that'll be $100 off that first lead pack. Okay.
Yeah, and what
So-
I could say is these are final expense leads specifically. I do a lot of cross selling with this too, like supplement, and stuff like that. So just like with anything,